Hello and welcome to the Big Red Round Table, Arrow Table. We're still working on the name. Today's panel will be picking their own choice of topics from our Big Red Round Table list, so you can certainly expect them to have done their homework. Joining me today are three lovely YouTubers from the land of vintage retro tech, looking ready and eager to share their terrible opinions on all things YouTube. A smaller group today, as it seems everyone else is busy getting ready for Christmas. We have Glenn from CRG, my go-to guy when I need some random Amiga hardware advice. He's also a dab hand at the old acting game. I've seen his Angry Irishman character, and it's a tour de force. Hello, Glenn.
Hello, Lee.
Oh, I was really hoping you were going to do
tonight, though. No more anger.
Okay. And from Snorkers Land, we have What Ho Snorkers. He's here, and he's dressed appropriately, as usual.
I've got trousers on, so.
Yeah. And so things don't get confusing. My separated at birth twin brother Lee Smith from Lee Smith's Workshop. He also has another channel called DJ Legion, which I'm sure will come up a bit later. Hello all, and hello Lee. What's at the top of your Christmas list?
My Spectrum Next that's arriving tomorrow.
Excellent. Snorkers?
Again, I'm very intrigued by Spectrum Next. It arrived Wednesday.
Oh.
Or Thursday or Friday. It's definitely here. So.
Glenn, what's under your tree? I know what's under Glenn's tree.
You know, I'm getting a new camera.
He's getting a new camera.
Yes.
You're looking
to enjoy
into
me in even higher definition.
Be wonderful. We'll be able to see all of your amazingly crispy good looks. Right, so this time everybody's actually chosen their own topics. We did a random thing the last time we did a potluck one, and it was okay, but I thought I'd give everybody a chance to actually prepare what they were going to talk about this time, so that we actually might look like we know what we're talking about. And we're going to go with Snorkers first, and his question, I'll read it verbatim from the list, is... I can't credit whoever wrote this question. I have a rough idea who it might have been, but random people from the Big Red Arrow Club submit questions for this, and they all get chucked into a list with no names attached. So I don't know who this is, but it is shit or get off the pot. Why you should stop dicking about and actually start that YouTube channel you've been banging on about for years, or how to start a YouTube channel. So how do we want to start this? I think a good idea here would be to start with our own experiences and maybe talk about how we started. So I think the first question is, how long did it take you to actually get from zero to YouTube? Who wants to go first? Go, Snorkers.
I was looking for something. I wanted to make something on YouTube. I didn't know what. And I kept seeing, someone's done that, So finding stuff that hasn't been done is difficult. And then I came across a video about the Usborne game. I like the old Usborne books, Island of Secrets. And there's a little video. I thought, I'll watch this. It'll be quite interesting. I like this game. I played it, I had the book as a kid from the library. Played it again about 6 or 7 years ago. I thought, this video will be good. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm playing the game, and they didn't manage to leave the first screen. I thought, and there was no commentary. It's like, right. I thought, okay. I thought I could do better than that. Not so behold, I don't know how I could do better than that, but I know what I wanted. I wanted the backstory of the game and then playing the game, and yeah, I could do that probably. I've no idea how, but I'll give it a go. So I did, just about.
So how long did it take you when you first had that inkling to actually? I think I might have a go at this. I might actually put myself in front of the camera.
Oh, it wasn't in front of the camera at that point. In front of the microphone, yeah. The microphone was for the first bit was I thought I'll do the backstory as a little experiment, and that had the Usborne book and a scanner, and I was scanning the pictures, and I didn't realise the scanner was being I was called what's the picture? Or page 1, picture 1, page 1, picture 2, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, doing that means when I use the video software, it goes, oh yeah, that's time lapse, isn't it, mate? And I didn't realise that for about a year. So I had to save every single picture as a different format. So right. Page 1 picture 1.jpg, page 1 picture 2.bmp, page 1 picture 3.gif. Sort of. Otherwise, they're all corrupt.
Okay, I'm gonna pin you down, Snorkers, because you haven't answered the question.
Oh, sorry.
How long did it take you to go from thinking about I want to do YouTube to I'm going to do YouTube? Was it an overnight thing, or did you mull it over for?
I got the idea when I was away for work, and I started working that weekend. And I think I got the first video out on the Tuesday
So
afterwards.
pretty much instantly in YouTube land.
Yeah.
How about you two, Glenn?
Took me about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I was just sitting bored in the house one day and went, I'm going to make a YouTube video. And then told the wife that I'm thinking of making a YouTube video. Locked myself in the front room, put a webcam on top of the TV and started shouting at it. Yeah, the quality of that video might actually reveal just how much effort I put in.
Is it still there?
First, yeah, it's still there, yeah.
Ah, brave. I've taken mine off. Lee?
I didn't really know any other way to share the thing that I wanted to share. I'd converted some faulty DJ equipment and turned them into MIDI devices, and I made a video showing them working. That was one of my very first videos on the DJ Legion channel.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned earlier. So Lee's got 2 fairly sizable channels in our terms, and you actually split off of that one and started your Lee Smith's Workshop channel.
Yeah, so
instead
the DJ Legion channel, initially it was going to be more DJ related, and I wanted to do music streaming. It's very difficult because whatever you did, you would get content matched, you would get striked, they would mute the audio. So then it became showing technical stuff that was mainly related around DJ equipment. And like I said, I was doing these conversions that were getting a lot of views. They've got like 20,000 views at the time. I got them shared in some magazines as well, some online magazines. And then I moved on to doing the Technics turntable repairs. And to this day, those first Technic turntable repairs are still the most viewed every single month.
the core of your channel.
Yeah. So then
Excellent.
I was obviously getting better at making the videos. I tried to do other things. I did a 20 episode series of making an arcade cabinet. And it was that point where people only watched the DJ repair videos. And I was doing more and more. It got to the point where I realized this isn't working. So then I made Lee Smith's Workshop, which was going to be the everything that wasn't DJ related.
Right. Let's twist it back round, because the subject of the question is basically how or why, and you should start a YouTube channel on, and if it's a good idea, that sort of thing. So
if you wanted to answer that question directly,
go on then, go for it.
My answer to that would be go for it.
Yeah.
And you don't need anything in particular to get started. I mean, as I say, I started with my laptop and a webcam connected to it. And that was it. And it was the inbuilt microphone on the webcam. And yes, that video is terrible. Absolutely abysmal in terms of production quality. But it does lead to the next one.
Yeah.
But
you try things. I used basic free software. I used the emulator itself. I capture for the video itself. Capture that. I had some issues with the. I got an idea. It said, "Oh yeah," the emulator said I can capture audio. So for some reason, I thought that would capture my voice commentary. So I played for the game and just gave live commentary. There isn't any. It doesn't do that. Oh, okay. But you learn.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
You learn as you go, but you won't learn that unless you do give it a go. So if you're thinking about starting a channel, my advice would be just give it a go. Put a video up there.
That's really good advice.
I don't think I initially started out wanting to make a YouTube channel. It was just that was the place to share something that I'd made.
Okay, that's interesting, because I had a similar experience with mine.
Mine
was... No, we're talking about me now, Lee.
Sorry, yeah.
You're the same person.
Yeah. I in a similar way, I was making arcade cabinets and doing things on Twitter. I was sharing everything on Twitter. That was my outlet. In fact, before that, I was sharing everything on a blog. And I would, at the end of the day, I would write everything up, put the photographs on the website. And it was taking me forever. I thought it'd be just so much easier. It would be so much easier to make this into a video. yeah, so I think I just started pointing the camera at everything I did, and I didn't even think about it. It was just like, okay, where's the camera? Let's put a phone on a tripod and start recording. So
is that true for all of us then? Did we all have some sort of creative outlet like that before jumping to YouTube? I know for my part, you know, for my system builds or any mods or anything I was doing, or anything at all really, you know, I was writing posts on forums, you know, writing a blog on a forum, build blog on it, you know, or writing reviews of games that I've played on some of the Amiga Facebook groups, even things like that, you know.
I think we've all got that in common. We've all got that in common, that desire to share our fun and our hobby with everybody else. So
I certainly got that. I certainly was not really playing stuff. I realised I used to like Spectrum games, and then I didn't start typing them in until about the third or fourth video when the game I wanted to cover hadn't been typed in. And I was like, oh shit, excuse my French. And it's like, I thought, oh no, that's good, unique content, sort of thing. Rather, you know, because no one's actually typed it in yet. And then you start typing in things, oh, this is a bit disappointing. And you start fiddling with it, because that's what you do, you got the source, you fiddle with it. And that's just how the channel grows, really. But yeah, you start, you know, before that I was just working, doing a job, and thought, well, I'd done some type-ins about 2008 at home because I was bored. And I remember typing the game, and it drew a big pearl on the screen with loads of white circles. I thought, this is lovely, I like this, because that was, but I was never thinking, I would never think I was sharing that, because that's just, well, this is a bit sad, really. So yeah, it made me happy. So.
No, we've got to share the joy. And the last question from me on this subject is it all that you wished for? Have you got any regrets? Go for Lee on this one.
Any regrets?
Yeah.
Just not doing more recently. I kind of feel like if you compare where I was, you was, and Dave was, we were close. We were very close.
Rose-tinted Spectrum.
Dave, rose-tinted Spectrum. We were all 2,500, and we were literally like our lines were kind of like that. And then I just haven't done that many videos because I've been busy with work, and this comes on to my subject later on. So I do regret not keeping up with making the videos, but then I think they wouldn't have been as good as when I put the time in. And you and Dave have continued to put out the videos, and your channels have just continued to improve. Your subscribers have improved. You're getting the good views. And yeah, I feel like I regret not keeping up with it, but unfortunately, it kind of wasn't possible.
No, it's just, you know, life comes first, really, doesn't it? So
yeah,
you sometimes you just got to accept that what you can put out is what you can put out, and everybody's going to have a different experience. People are going to grow at different rates for lots of different reasons, not just how much time that they can throw.
And I kind of was doing big things as well. They were things that were taking a long time to do. They're not like, I can't just knock a video together. So
yeah, like us lazy YouTubers. What about you, Glenn? Have you got any regrets?
I suppose one regret that maybe also brings it back to the subject that we're talking about, the actual question, is not starting it earlier.
Good one. I like that. Yeah,
you know, so if you are thinking of making a YouTube channel, get off
the pot.
Get off the pot.
I think that's different now, though.
You know, it's a more flooded market now as well.
Yeah.
So,
people going into this with the attitude of, I want to make a YouTube channel rather than I want to share something.
Okay, that's a really
good
point.
point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that in a second. I want Snorkers. I want to know if you've got any regrets from.
Again, I could have started earlier because I was doing type-ins back when I lived in Hampshire before I moved back up to Norfolk, and it's like I could have done. I didn't know any better, but I could have said, I like these things. I do tell you. I'll tell people about them. But I thought, well, no one wants to hear from me, so I thought, well, why bother? Kind of thing. But I've had fun with that. I've also like the dressing up and the being stupid is just having a laugh, trying to bring these things to life. But yeah, just start earlier. But then, and I said it's about make stuff you want to make. Don't try and do it for fame.
No. So
absolutely.
This is something in my personal experience. The balance between what I do creatively making a YouTube channel and making YouTube content is almost the same level of hobby and time as what I have on the workbench. Is anybody else at that level? I'd imagine most of you are actually still in the spending more time. The hobby is the passion more than anything.
That was one of my topics, is when does the hobby become YouTube?
Yeah.
It is. So shall we come back to that later then?
Oh, no, if you want to talk about it.
No. We'll come back to... No, I've made a decision. All right, let's wrap that one up, and I'll cleverly edit this bit so that nobody will ever know that we had a little fluff there. Right, so Glenn's question. We'll come to Glenn's one now. And this one's a little bit more about the actual YouTube nuts and bolts. And I'll read the question. So it says, YouTube product managers have stated that the algorithm recommends videos based on what your audience wants to see, which is determined by what your audience watched previously. All videos, not just yours. And how long they watch those videos for. Since these metrics change all the time, is there any way to optimize for it? So how do we get the algorithm to recognize and recommend our videos?
Is there any way to optimize for it? No. There you go. There's my detailed answer. A highly researched, detailed answer. No, especially I don't really think there is.
In our subject ranges, we are not going to be on trending.
No.
Ah, you know, I'm going to be the standout disagreed here, because I think although that we can't reach the levels that the people on the home feed reach, we're not going to do this in a hot tub. We're not going to do it in a bikini, chopping wood in the forest to keep warm. But there are things that we can do to optimize, to make it a more appealing proposition to watch our videos.
To expand slightly on my single word answer, I think someone who's initially starting out, if you're looking at it from that point of view, I think personally for me, the way that I came to YouTube, and I think all four of us would be the same, it's just trying to share the hobby rather than trying to chase the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm happy to chase the algorithm.
Well, I know you are.
I quite like.
But I think what I'm trying to say is, when you're initially starting out, I don't really know if there's much point in trying to do that. I think you need to try and find your audience first.
Yeah.
And start to find an audience first.
I think there's a difference between chasing the algorithm and making a really bloody good video that a lot of people want to watch. And a really good example of that is Charles from Lost Retro Tapes. And the video that I'm thinking of is actually on his other YouTube channel, which is Retro Tea Time, where he created a ZX Spectrum from scratch, a brand new one, including the box, the polys, the manuals. He reprinted the manuals. He did the Horizon tape. Snorker's Through the Wall game is on that Horizon tape. And that's the only video on his channel, and I think it's got like 100,000 views or something like that. It's ridiculous like that. That was his first video on the channel. So it's more about if you can make something that a lot of people want to watch. It doesn't necessarily have to be chasing the algorithm. It just has to be something that a lot of people want to watch. And sometimes we know that what we put out isn't what everybody's going to want to watch. For instance, I've just done an unboxing video on my main channel, which is something I've, not really an unboxing, a show and tell on my main channel, which I've never really done before on there. But it was an important one, and I thought I needed more people to see it, so I put it on there, and it's not going to do very well, and I accept that, and that's absolutely fine. But circling back round to the point of this, which is how getting started, if you come at this from that point of view, as Glenn says, where I want to make a YouTube channel because and that's the only thing I want to do, and we see this a lot, and we see the channels pop up, have a couple of videos where they're obviously looking at other YouTube channels and thinking, I can do that. I can make a YouTube channel and lots of people will like me. Yeah, it's not that easy.
This is something that kids at school say, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a Twitch streamer. They see it as a full-time job.
No, they do very much. In fact,
Yeah.
I have first-hand experience with that. My
Yeah.
youngest son has only moved to secondary school, and when we were visiting the schools, going around, some of the teachers were asking kids in groups, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" sort of thing, and a lot of them said YouTuber.
Scary. Who's gonna, who's gonna stir the coffee
I just stood there very quietly. I didn't. No, I'm not going to say anything.
You didn't actually say, "Oh, actually,
no.
I am a YouTuber."
Because some things are very high effort. Lots of work is going into it. Lots of research. Lots of building stuff. Healthcare. Some stuff people do, like some of these controversial stuff, like reaction videos. You watch someone else's video and go, and then rake in millions of views and adverts, which is like, well, you could
I've
do
seen
that.
more and more of them coming up lately.
Yeah, and that's a DOS. That doing that's quite easy. That is actually producing something yourself. As in, I made a cabinet. I fixed a machine that was broken. I fixed a game that was broken. That's hard. That's hard work. And it's like oh, I want to be an author. Yeah, what that means is you're sitting in a room on your own with a pen and paper for months.
Oh, surely it's doing book tours and getting put up in hotels.
Yeah,
like
that's everyone sees, but that's not the reality, is it? Like Twitch. This Twitch is like your Twitch. You are playing a game. That's you playing a game, chatting to people. At least that is barely what it is. With YouTube, you see the result, but you don't see the Hollywood. You see, oh no, you had to be you've been sitting in a cold water tank for like 3 days now because we're filming the Titanic. That's but you see a little bit. Oh, yes, no, Jack, but you don't see I've now got pneumonia sort of thing.
I was going to talk about focus on our channels, and because capturing the algorithm, sometimes it's all one bit of advice I give to lots of people that don't ask for it is don't split your audience, and Lee's actually suffered from this himself, and there were a few members of the Big Red Arrow Club that have had a problem with splitting their audience, their viewership.
I've done it twice.
By going with different with different content and different subjects. So is that if you? I think what the problem is if you do that and then your viewing figures start to suffer, should you worry about that?
Isn't that your own attitude towards what you want out of it?
Yep.
I did it
because
twice. DJ Legion was split because they weren't watching the retro stuff, and then I made Lisa's Workshop, and I found again there's certain things that people watch and certain things that people don't watch, but I'm not splitting it again.
No, I don't think it's the right thing to do. But I mean, we've spoken about a good approach for you is to actually combine the two things, because they do fit quite well together. But at least you haven't got anything wildly different on your channel that it can really hurt your channel if you put something on there that does really well. So
yeah,
I know that Reese, we often talk about his solo videos, and it did hurt him for a while, and it's taken. He was saying recently that it took him about a year to recover his channel from that. So yeah, it's a dangerous thing, and it's tempting to do different subjects just to mix things up. But if something explodes out of all proportion of everything you've done before, then you can actually there is a negative side to that.
Yeah, because are you then annoying the people that were with you from the beginning, or the new people come in and then expect what you're making to be like the video that they watched that got all the attention, which is what happened.
I started with game reviews and things, and then very quickly moved over to hardware, and it was obvious that the hardware side of the channel was getting a lot more views. And if I'm perfectly honest, my own main interest is in the hardware, so I just continued that way.
Yeah.
But I did have a comment a while back now. You could be going back a couple of years, but I do recall a comment of someone who had obviously just found my channel for the first time and had watched through my initial gameplay videos, and then left a random comment on one of my newer videos, wondering where all the gameplay stuff had gone.
That's pretty good. Are you ever tempted? I was going to actually ask you about your because your channel is very focused on the hardware, and
Yeah.
quite often you're releasing, especially recently, Amiga content.
Yeah, there's a lot
Do you
of
feel
a
like
lot
you're
of
getting
Amiga
funneled?
stuff recently. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do have something completely different though for the next video.
It's difficult to break out, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, I had a load of DOS-based stuff that I wanted to do for December. To be honest, it's not looking like that's going to happen now. You know,
Sad.
because I've just been not that I've been overwhelmed with the Amiga stuff. I do really enjoy working on the Amiga stuff, but you know, it's just got in the way of me wanting to do another project.
So it's time to start the second channel then, Glenn.
I have enough trouble keeping one going.
And Snorkus, you actually have a Twitch account as well as a YouTube account, so I suppose that's a secondary outlet for you.
Yeah, so I can either use that for playing different games completely, like Shield Made DX, which I really enjoy. That's a modern game, or trying out different games, just relaxing and stuff, and sort of the dressing up on that. But I found, to start off with, I wanted to have the games as they were, and none of me involved. Just say, here's a game, here's what it is. Then I realised that acting out the stories was make it a bit more fun, and that grew a bit. And I thought some people may not like that, so I started doing chapters before chapters were a thing. I was time stamping my videos to let people know, if you like these bits, here's where they are. If you don't like them, here's the next bit that is just about the game. So give people, try and give people a bit of choice, So they're going to skip anyway, so at least make it easier for them.
I hate to admit it, Snorkers, but when I watch one of your videos, I tend to skip between the bits where you are doing the cosplay and
that's fine. Bits. Yeah, it's a bit of fun because I know some people get really excited because they find like I've covered a game that they liked, and then it was Software House. And, I played through it, and then I started going into it and fixing bugs in it. He's like, "This is brilliant!" And he actually loved that. Because, you find a few people who really like that, and some people
like the bug fixing stuff.
Yeah, and it's not. I enjoy it too. So but it's hard to make it visual. So I put a bit of both in. Hell yeah!
I'm with Glenn. I like the dressing up.
Yeah, so something for everybody.
Okay, so I think we can draw a line under that one. We've solved that. The algorithm is fixed now. Don't worry about it. Basically, right. So Lee's topic of choice today is not everything. I like this one. Not everything has to be a video. Remembering to take time to enjoy your hobbies for yourself as well as your audience. So, Lee, do you feel guilty when you don't turn the camera on?
Definitely, but I wanted to expand on that. On when does the hobby become YouTube? So
true, yeah.
you go from like doing the repairs and filming it, and then you end up with the whole setup is based around filming it and not the repairs.
Guilty.
So you've just rearranged all of your workshop.
I have, and it's basically to make it into a kind of a studio on this side. Yeah. So I'm double guilty.
So I haven't made videos recently because I've been busy, but I'm the kind of person that likes to set up and have a weekend to do the filming. Like I did some filming yesterday. I did some editing at night, come back in today, did a bit more filming, editing at night. If I don't have that weekend, I don't like doing a little bit here and a little bit there. I can't work like that, but I know other people do. Like Retrograde Scene. He literally sets up for like a little bit, does a bit whenever he can. And I kind of get lost. I need to get into the swing of it for the weekend. And then pack it away, because I can't leave that stuff out. It gets in the way of work, and then I need to concentrate on work. Otherwise, I'm doing video stuff when I'm supposed to be working.
Not everyone's got a spare room. I mean, the four of us are very lucky to have a space in which we can do things. I mean, your space is split between work and
at the minute it's
and YouTube
work, whereas before when I was DJing. It literally was the hobby room, and I could record whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, but it's just changed now. So
Glenn and I are incredibly lucky to have workshops that
Yeah.
we can do our
Lucky
hobby.
I've got this space.
It's an absolute privilege to have it, and I feel bad when I see other people. I feel a little bit guilty that I show off my workshop when I see other people have to work out of a box, and they get their box out and they put it on the kitchen table, and they have to unpack everything and then get it all set up, and then they do the thing they want to do, and then they have to pack it all away again, and that's quite sad, really. It's but I take my hat off to those people, because the dedication to actually do it and keep doing it must be higher than us lazy oiks that just have to walk through a door and it's already there laid out for us.
And then for the videos to be actually like coherent, they must have what did I do the last time? Go and watch the stuff, record the next bit, and then a week later record the next bit.
From Retro Crazy does exactly that. He has to set his stuff up and then pack it away again. And there's lots of people, and he has quite a thriving YouTube channel off the back of it, so it can be done.
It can be done.
Don't let that put you off.
I do occasionally. Sorry, but I do occasionally make videos like that. I mean, I've spoken about that before. I'll record a wee bit and edit a wee bit. Don't keep doing it like that as I go, making a video. But I mean, it could be a few days in between, sometimes even. It's just because other things get in the way. Life just gets in the way. But luckily enough, as Lee more fun making it says, Lee says, otherly. How are we supposed to distinguish between the two?
We're both otherly.
Oh, right, okay.
More fun leeing it.
More fun leeing it, as he says. Yes, so I can record a little bit and walk away from this, and it all just sits here. I don't need to worry about putting it away. Yeah. I can just sit here until I get time to get back to it.
Yeah, and I know Snorkers has to deal with this as well.
Yeah, because a lot of I work with mostly in emulation, so that's fine. That's on my actual PC. You get on there, you do some stuff, it's easy.
Yeah.
If I do some soldering, which I have done, that's very much, I've got a box in the conservatory with lots of stuff in it, and you get stuff out and you poke at it and you go, and you spend an hour and then go, this still doesn't work.
And then you have to get all the hats out of the attic.
Hats out of the attic and the green screen up. And of course, if my wife's away for work, you can set it up. It's annoying, gets in the way, but I can cope with it. Whereas if she's not away, so you can set it up, do your filming, set it down again. So that's 20 minutes either side, putting it up, putting it out, getting all the tripods out of the corner, charging your lights, putting your lights up, doing a bit in front of the camera for about 2 minutes, and then putting it all away again.
Yeah.
And it's doable, but it's just a bit of a... It takes the edge off sometimes.
I'm quite interested to hear what Glenn's got to say about this, about do you have projects that you actually do without turning the camera on, or do you have like a big box of stuff that are waiting for you and have been waiting for months for you to turn the camera on?
There's very little projects that don't have the camera on, to be honest with you. I mean, there is a few, but most everything I do try to record, and I think a consequence of that, as you say, is that there are multiple boxes filled with multiple projects, some of which I may never get to them.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. I think I need to ban myself from eBay. I was having a clear out the other day, tidying up my storage space. I mean, there's this space here that I'm in now, and then I have another area which is filled of machines with all, future project videos and all that. And I was having a tidy up on that and just thought I need to delete my eBay account.
Do you go out the way? Do you go out the way to find things thinking that would make a good video?
I would have done that. I am trying to get better at not doing that.
So I was doing that.
It was a bad habit of mine to sit at night. If the TV's crap or whatever, to sit at night on my phone to scroll through eBay and go, "Oh, that looks interesting. I'll stick a maximum bid on that here." And a week later, it's sitting in your living room.
Buying things just to thinking it could be a good video, and then spending money to repair or whatever, and obviously then not make any money from the actual video, and then put the thing away in a box somewhere afterwards.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
YouTube's expensive.
Yeah, I just stopped doing it.
I know. I found that I was only doing game stuff for YouTube or Twitch, although it was quite nice. I did get Resident Evil 4 not the remaster, the original, because I saw that in ONL 23. I thought, oh, play that, and I played that just for myself, and I enjoyed that. Yeah, this is fun. This is as in a game I'm playing for fun, not for anything retro-y. Just YouTube. Yeah, this is fun. This, but a lot of the time it's either you're playing a game, you're researching a game. A lot of the games I play are historical, so you're doing historical research, reading a book, watching videos about the or you're doing shopping for buying little hats and stuff. So the YouTube sort of does become the hobby rather than the hobby being a bit of programming. But then again, you do some of the programming so you can show people. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't bother. Just go, oh, this game is it's all right. Next, I've downloaded it. That's all right. Next, well, if you spent an hour typing it in, you think, oh, that's all right. I can, and I can actually do that rather. Next. You spin the wheel, sort of thing.
But if you become YouTube as the hobby, then you tend to be stressed about the whole thing. Doesn't get enough views. Like, am I doing something wrong? What can I do to get more views? And it literally takes you out of the hobby that you were trying to share in the first place.
Yeah.
That's actually something I purposely avoid doing to myself. I do not worry about how many views I'm getting. It's the numbers go up wildly and they go down wildly, and there's nothing you can do but just concentrate on making the videos that you want to make.
It's harsh when you've spent 3 months on a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
I guarantee that all of us have probably got a video that we spent a lot of time, poured a lot of ourselves into, and that's probably one of our worst performing videos.
My Atari joystick video.
Yeah, my top 10 tools video.
I knocked together a video on a Saturday morning about a little basic machine code thing, which is a nice little program, but that got 700 views. And some videos you put months of work into, a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
But that's what it's like. I'm pleased with what I made. Both videos are good videos, but people watch what they want to watch, and it's fine. But the key thing is, I started out doing weekly videos, and then after a year of that, I thought I can't do this anymore. And it's just, and then it went. Then I was on to go 2 weekly. Now it's like, yeah, I'll do it when I get around to it. And now I produce what I can. The aim is, I've done some stuff. That's done now. Next.
When you're happy,
without worrying,
put the video out and not try to stick to a schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to try and stick to a weekly schedule, but I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the projects that I'm undertaking are slightly more complicated now than they would have been before.
Yeah.
But I find it almost impossible now to try and stick to that. So, a video's done when it's done.
Yeah.
Although, as you guys know, I do still restrict myself to a Sunday release. Other than the mini build videos that I've started doing, they'll go out whenever. But
I think a predictable day that you're releasing is a good thing.
Is Sunday 2 p.m.
Yeah, I think that helps. Your viewers are familiar with that. That's actually a good idea. That's a nice thing to do. But you're not wedded to I must get a video out every week.
Yeah,
that's one of the worst sins of YouTube. Right. So, has anybody else got anything to say on that subject?
I think it is important to actually do stuff for yourself. Watch TV, go for a walk, do things that aren't just, I've got to feed the algorithm, I've got to create content. You don't have to create content, you're a human being. And it's easy to go, I'm going to fix this. I think one of the ladies said, I wanted to fix some machines. It's a lot easier to do it without the camera. You just get on with it rather than set the camera up.
I've got an anecdote about this, actually. Because of the way that I get my repairs are mostly from one person, and it's more than I can make videos. So I have to not turn the camera on often. And earlier this year, I had 13 Commodore 64s that needed repairing, and I just sat there one day and looked at them and I thought, I can't make all these into videos. So I thought, oh, sod it, I'm just going to fix them all. And I spent the next few days and just fixed them all.
Yeah.
And it was cathartic. I felt great.
You either set up and record everything with multiple cameras all the time, capture every single thing that you do, and then just have so much footage to go through that it becomes unbearable.
Yeah. Done that too.
Just close maybe by saying that for anyone watching this from the point of view of trying to start a YouTube channel, comparing yourself to someone who does it full time, and none of us are full time.
Yeah.
But you know, we can look at someone doing it full time, and they have all that time to sit and record everything,
And a team that help them.
while still having the downtime. They have time for
Yeah.
themselves to sit and watch TV or play with their stuff.
Send it
So-
to an editor for they're like,
Yeah, absolutely.
where we have to do everything.
You know,
Yeah.
so you can look at their videos to get hints and tips for how to maybe structure your own content. But you know, put out your videos at your own pace. You know, I
That is
don't think
excellent
anyone
advice.
needs to feel pressured to try and stay in touch with what the full time YouTubers are doing.
Yeah,
Very
wait
true.
until you're in that position that you can do it.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
yeah, that's a difficult thing. So we've got time for one more question. So I'm going to have a question. Right, Snorkers, give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
And Lee
3.
and Glenn
5.
15. Oh, it's a nice easy one. It's a nice lightweight one. And it is just 6 words. If you could own one thing, and this is in actually no, let's go wide. It's YouTube or your hobby. So retro computers and hardware or YouTube stuff. If you could own one thing, and it can't be what you're getting for Christmas, Glenn.
Talent.
What's the top of your wish list to make
Me?
your YouTube life better?
So something YouTube related.
It can be YouTube related or
Well, I need a new tripod, but that's not hard to get, I suppose. And Santa might be bringing me one of those as well. I suppose in terms of YouTube equipment, the only other thing I really need is a new microphone. You know, I want one of these wireless microphones that everybody has.
yeah.
But again,
That's a good
it's achievable. You know, if you want to look at something from the retro computer hobby that I really want, an MSX2 is very, very high on my list.
Quite like an Aquarius too.
Right.
In the Mattel Aquarius too. They're really. I've seen one of those recently at Cambridge Computer Museum. They're and it's the only one in the world working.
Right.
They're proper hen's teeth. They are. So yeah, I'm going Aquarius too. Snorkers, what's your one thing?
I think some kind of magical green screen studio in a box.
Oh wow!
So
I like
you
that.
open the door, you go in, all the walls, everything's green, and you can just do your stuff, and you have to worry about, oh, there's the Artex ceiling creeping in, or there's the armchair, there's the cat wandering in. No, and it's no setting. Just walk in, do your filming, nice and simple. You still have to get dressed up and that, but
Actually, I'm
it's not
changing
what-
my answer based on yours. I would like a dedicated workshop. I know I've got a dedicated workshop, but this is I would like, you see someone. I watch a channel called Pask Makes. It's a woodworking channel, and he's got this amazing workshop. And I would like a workshop that I could have woodworking and retro repair, electronics repair, and YouTube studio all mixed into one thing. That's my one thing, which is 3 things. But Lee, what would you like?
If
What's
I
on your
could get
Santa's list?
any retro item, my coveted computer is the red Sony Hitbit.
Oh, the Hitbit.
The red
right,
one
yeah.
is just.
You've got wooden right now. haven't
Yeah,
you?
I have, yeah.
I
But on
can
top
tell
of
by
that, for the longest time, I wanted another 4K camera so that I could have one permanently overhead and then another one, because I've got one of them. My other cameras are just too low bit rate. They're half the bit rate to the 4K. So, yeah, one of those 2, please.
A Blackmagic RAW 8K camera for Lee, then, please, Santa. Okay, that's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed our Christmas thoughts and wishes. The list is there if you'd like to. We'll give you a PO box so you can send those items to us. I'm not sure how you're going to get my workshop in there, but keep trying.
We need a
If you would like, sorry, Lee, would you like to?
we need a
interject?
TARDIS workshop green screen room.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Oh, we
nice.
need a holodeck.
Holodeck would be
Ooh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be even better when if they can actually see what you're looking at. Well, I think I'm reaching for the dragons thing.
What's the thing that you use on The Mandalorian? What's that screen thing? What's it called?
Oh God, yeah.
You know the one I mean.
One of them would be lovely.
Yeah.
One of them would be brilliant.
Right. So if you're looking for us on social medias, you can find most of us on Twitter, I do believe, but the channel's the platform is dying, but we're still there at the moment, probably for a little while.
Yeah.
So I'm at More Fun Making It. Snorkers is at.
I'm at Jamograd, although I'm What Host Stalkers on Twitch.
Sorry, and Lee is.
It's Lee Smith's workshop. I ran out of letters.
Oh no, there's no oop. And Glenn is.
Well, at CRG on YouTube. For Twitter, I can't remember. Just Google it.
I think it's CRG _
YT, I think, which was meant to stand for YouTube, but well,
yeah,
whatever.
that made sense to me. Perfect sense.
YT _ CRG.
Oh,
it was
it's
in
the
there
other way.
somewhere.
Ah.
I couldn't remember which way around it was.
All of our channels and social medias will be linked in the description. And if we don't see you before Christmas, have a lovely Christmas. And don't forget our presents.
Hooray!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Cheerio!
Bye.